We are going to be journaling together today. We're going to be talking about adventures. And I see some of you saw that I already posted a pinned post. And look at this. We have some check-ins. Hello, Renee is here in Perfection on Purpose. You've had an amazing day. That's great. Let's think. Exciting, productive, and clarifying. That's fabulous. Your day is exciting, productive, clarifying. Hi, Ms. M. Whoops. Pam says focused, tired, concerned. That's an interesting collection of words, Pam. As you come in the room, I would love it if you would tell me what 3 words describe your day. I have had such a day that like 5 minutes ago, when I was getting ready, I looked at my phone and saw that I only have 50% power left. So if we have to be shorter than I expected with this live stream, I know you'll understand, and you know that we'll come back tomorrow. We'll meet again. And this is perfect because one of the topics we're going to be discussing first is to come to your adventures in journaling and adventures in life from a place of passionate detachment. And you might not have heard of that expression, passionate detachment. I kind of made it up. There's different ways to say the same thing, but basically in the Julie world, passionate detachment is to go for something with your whole heart, your whole strength, but you aren't necessarily concerned about specific results. Now, I know that's not what the SMART goal people say. You know, SMART, I'm trying specific, measurable, accessible, results. I can't remember what all those letters mean. And I would say, yes, that's a great way to go. And in my life, I've had so much power in going for it, just like I would if I was using a SMART goal, but also realizing that sometimes the results that come when I'm in a place of letting go, the results are so much better than I could have planned for. Have any of you had that? Hi, Catherine. So good to see you. Hello, Cheryl. Look at all these great people. Vicki, you're here. I'm so glad. Ms. M says the words to describe her day will be tired, a lot on your mind, and distracted. Me too. Me too. I have my task planner here. I will show it to you. I actually have done a lot. Hopefully you won't see all of the things that I had on this list. But I had this list, a bunch of silly things, not silly things, but just like minutia that I don't usually get to. And I'm so glad that I wrote it on this list. Usually I would have it in my head, and I got quite a few done. Things that I haven't done include things like reading my book club book. I really want to do that. I did not reach out to my brother. I did practice my solo. I did prepare for choir. I did dust the living room. I did open up my vacuum cleaner. I did declutter several boxes. This is a kind of journal, by the way. Let's see who else. Catherine, busy, a lot of us are stressed out and busy and resourceful. I love that. That idea was very last minute to put that pinned post and ask for those 3 things. That's something I actually learned from Brene Brown's leadership. If you know Brene Brown, she's quite an incredible researcher. And she said that when she has her team meeting, she asks them to check in at the beginning with 2 to 3 words. And so when I facilitate groups, and this is kind of like group facilitation, I like to do the same thing. So today we're talking about adventures and side quests with your journal and without your journal. But adventures and side quests can be so much better when we journal, because we can document, we can talk with ourselves, we can pray, we can ask questions that we wouldn't normally answer or wouldn't normally ask ourselves. And I have this relationship with my journals and my notebooks as if they're my friend. And so when I started writing notes and journaling to present journaling, I was like, my journal's like my best friend. My notebooks are some of my best friends. And hopefully that you will see what I'm talking about as well. So I would like for you to think about your journal or your future journal, if you're not journaling yet, as your wisest, most patient friend. This is someone who you can turn to when your human best friend or your partner, the person you would normally turn to, isn't available, you can pick up your handy journal. You can pick up your journal and chat. And I want to show you some different kinds of journals. Yeah, Vicky has her broken bone elevated in bed. Vicky got hurt. So you're following those rules. Brene Brown says that the value of doing that is that you're succinct, and it causes you to focus. So in Julie World, I say rules schmools, and some things are really helpful to have rules as well. So I wanted to show you a couple of different types of journals, and then we'll go into our prompt, okay? Our first prompt of the day. We talked about passionate detachment. I talked about your journal being your wisest adventure buddy. Okay, I'm going to show that next. And I want to share a quote with you from my friend Mary Oliver. I may put a link to her movie that I saw in here too, the documentary about her life. But she wrote, "Keep some room in your heart for the unimaginable." Mary Oliver said, "Keep some room in your heart for the unimaginable." Some imaginable things for me. Some of you know, I'm living in this manse. A manse is a house owned by a church. Usually pastors live here. But my daughter's a pastor. I came as part of the package deal. It is a powerful quote. This house was born in the same decade as the United States was, in the 1770s. This house is in Northwest New Jersey. I grew up in Northeast New Jersey. We used to come here on Sunday drives. I never imagined that I would live in this place. I never imagined, I was living in California when I got the call, "Hey mom, would you like to come move in here for a year?" Well, I've been here for 4. I came and I was like, this is so unimaginable. Please let me stay, God. And I have. And then I made this. Do you recognize what this is? This is actually an art journal, the beginnings of an art journal page. And what I do with art journals is oftentimes I will write things underneath, and then I will put art over it. In fact, there's a piece, I don't have it here on my mantle anymore, but sometimes I will work out some things that aren't really great, and I will write them, and then I will cover them with collage or mixed media. So part of what I'm doing this week is I'm showing you different ways to journal, different methods like dictation from the other day. This is another method. So here I wrote spring, because this was in the winter that I wrote this. More sunrises and sunsets. Soul to love. I know I'm free flow writing. Remember, we use free flow writing here. I said more space, more community, more laughter, more time. I'm trying to see some of it. Because I've put stuff over it, I can't read it all. But what I really wanted to point out is some more sunrises and more sunsets. Some of you know that I have been doing the road to 65, preparing for my 61st birthday. And what am I doing? How did I set that up? I set that up doing walks during the golden hour, sunrises and sunsets. I found this journal today when I was decluttering. I had no recollection of that. I had no recollection of saying more sunrises and sunsets. Hello, my journal, my best and wisest adventure partner, they knew. This is another journaling technique, and I wanted to bring this in for 2 reasons. One is your journal can help you to be fully embodied in your life. And when I say that, what I mean is, in fact, a lot of you said you were really stressed out today. You were super busy. And sometimes when we get stressed out and super busy, it's good that you've been letting go of a lot. That's awesome. Excellent, Renee. Is to do something like this. So you can see I have my adventure that I want to take. It says adventures and experiences. I know this is backwards, but hopefully my reading will help you. So adventures and experiences, and I put kayaking. Fall, I think I said. Yeah, fall of 2027. It's almost time to do my fall bucket list. So this is part of that. So when I started the year, I had no idea that I would fall in love with kayaking. I kayaked for the first time this year, and it's been amazing. But one of the things I can do to work towards that, or to allow that to show up in my life, to be passionately detached, is to think about the senses in relationship to this adventure. So I said kayaking fall 2027, and then I put see, hear, touch, smell, taste. I don't think I'll be tasting in a kayak. Feeling and joy. So all of these things, it's like setting the intention. And on this side, I will write what I've actually experienced already. So it kind of magnetizes the two. This also will help you to be a better writer. So you can use the same technique with the senses, which will be, it's a form of embodiment, getting you into your body, into your experience, and out of just your head. Because if we are just in your head, you're not going to have the full bodied experience. Okay, so this is another kind of journaling technique. I'll probably bring more of these tomorrow. We only have one more day. But I will be doing the recaps. I decided today about the recap episodes that I'm going to slow roll those out. I'm going to slow roll those out instead of pushing them all really quickly. Just because I've been looking at, again, there's so many different things going on right now with YouTube, and I just really feel like that will be a better strategy. So Chris, it's good to see you. It's okay that you didn't. Yeah, pacing your now. Thank you, Vicki. Chris, it's great to see you. It's okay you missed the morning walk. The morning walk this morning was kind of strange because I was buffering, and so it was short. It was a short walk. So the other thing is I'm going to have a giveaway in September. I'm going to be giving away a copy of this book. So for those of you who are writers, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to run it yet, or those of you who want to be writers. Anne Lamott is an amazing writer, and her husband is Neil Allen. She just got married. I think she's 70-something, and she's having this whirlwind romance later in life. So of course, I think that's fabulous. But this book is my favorite writing craft book, and I listened to it, and then I accidentally ordered 2. So I have an extra copy. I want to share that with the world. This is so amazing. I have started writing practice all around sentence writing just because of that. But anyway, I've been talking and talking and talking. I would love to get to our first prompt. I can't believe we've been here for 12 minutes and I haven't given you a prompt yet, except for the opening, which is kind of like a prompt. You all shared, or many of you shared, the 3 words to describe your day so far. All right. I'm looking at my notes. I'm like, there's prompt number 2. Where's prompt number 1? Where is prompt number 1? We did, maybe that consider that prompt number 1. Okay, I will make one up on the fly. So this is about adventures and side quests. I've related to that in my art journal, sunrises and sunsets. That's definitely a side quest, because normally sunrises I'm writing, I'm at my desk, I'm focused. But I needed to fit in the journaling and the morning walk, so I flipped things around. You're paying close. Oh, you're also making a stir fry. That's totally cool. It's totally cool. You hear these prompts, Pam, and you can write a response or a thought in the chat. In Julie World, it's all cool. It's all cool. No worries. No worries. It's all good. It's all good. So here we go. Here we go. We're going to take a few breaths. See, I'm totally excited now. I'm like really fired up, but I know that I need to be calm and be settled into my body. So let's get calm and settled into our body with a few breaths. Even if you're cooking, even if you are doing whatever it is you're doing, let's just slow it down. So slow it down. Even if we're distracted because we're hungry. I see you, I feel you. I'm kind of hungry too. So let's just take a second to breathe in. Let's breathe in, breathe in. And exhale through our mouths. It feels so good to breathe. Let's breathe in again. And let it out through our mouths. One more nice deep breath in. And let it go. think for a moment about an adventure or a side quest you would like to take. An adventure or a side quest. And when I say that, that means something you would do. For me, that's like kayaking. It might be for you hiking. It might be something like starting an art journal. It might be something like going to an open mic night. I have a side quest this weekend. I'm singing a solo in church, which is always nerve-wracking, and it's an adventure because I'm doing something a little bit outside my comfort zone. Adventures and side quests, and here is your prompt. I see my third prompt now. An adventure or side quest I would like to take is, and you may make this into a list. In fact, it's probably best if it's a list. Just let your pencil float across the page. An adventure or side quest I would like to take, and there's a caveat, I would like to take if I didn't worry about the results. An adventure or side quest I would like to take if I didn't worry about the results. Okay? That's the part of the passionate detachment. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm really sorry about your headaches. That's so sad. I hope you're feeling better quickly. Okay, so back to the prompt for those of you who are writing in your journals, or if you'd like to put in the chat. What is an adventure or a side quest that you would like to take, especially if you didn't think about results? Okay. What is an adventure or a side quest you would like to take if you don't worry? Yes, baking cookies. Excellent. Baking cookies. Okay, very good. We're going to take 2 minutes. So this is your chance to write into the chat, to write in your journal. I'll be writing in my journal and watching the clock. So here we go. I'm going to say the prompt one more time, and you guys can write in the chat. What's your side quest you'd like to take? Baking cookies, supporting Julie. I like that side quest. Actually, that is a good side quest. It's supporting everybody on here. Chatting them up. Loving on them. Important side quest. An adventure or side quest I would like to take if I didn't worry about the results is your caveat. You're passionately detached. You're not worried about the results. You're simply looking for the joy of taking that adventure or side quest. Hi, Mac. Catherine's asking Chris. Cindy, hello. So what adventure or side quest would you like to take if you didn't have to worry about the results? So I'm going to do some writing. I hope you will do some writing too. Everything is wonderful. Okay, side quest. Side quest, baking cookies, supporting friends. What else? I would like to learn crochet again. Okay, Pam would love to go on an adventurous road trip and see some of your long lost or longtime friends. I did that this year. I strongly recommend it. Excellent. Road tripping. I want to learn crochet or practice crochet. That's a side quest. I tried it and I didn't do very well. And I'm willing to continue trying. It's like, what are you willing to fail at? Publish a book of poetry or stories. Excellent. Excellent. Wonderful. These are exactly what I'm talking about. Go to Alaska, go to Canada, go to the Canadian Rockies. Excellent. Hi, Kelly. We're working with the prompt. What would be an adventure or side quest you would like to take? Some of them so far are publish a book of poetry or stories, bake cookies, supporting friends. The caveat is you don't worry about results. You're not worried about how things turn out, like me learning crochet. Excellent. Road tripping definitely. I want to kayak more. I already expressed that when I showed you that journal that I have, where I was embodying it by talking about what I see, what I feel, what I hear, when I'm kayaking, I hear the sound of the is it called an oar? The paddle on the water. When I was on the Delaware River, looking down and seeing the whole world down there, it was like a forest, a beautiful forest down below me that I didn't know existed until I got out there. Traveling for sure. Greetings from Uganda. Nice. Yes, I know where Uganda is. I have some family of the heart from Cameroon. So yes, I do know I actually do know African geography. Okay, traveling, excellent. Okay, the solo I'm singing in church. And in fact, the solo that I'm singing in church on Sunday, I also want to see if I can get the recording of that so I can share it. That is extremely scary for me. If any of you dare me to do it, I just might do it. The part of getting it and actually sharing it, because I don't know how well I'm going to do. So again, don't worry about results. Okay. All right. We'll take one more, like 30 more seconds on this one. What is an adventure or side quest you would like to take if you didn't have to worry about the results? We've had some great responses to this. And the second part of that, okay, Cheryl says she'd like to snorkel in Key Largo to see the huge underwater statue of Christ of the Abyss. That's amazing. Hi, Addie. We are journaling right now. The quote or the prompt we're using is, what is an adventure or side quest you would like to take if you didn't worry about the results? Hi, TV girl. Addie says her day is badass and fun. And Miss M is daring me to post me singing. I'm going to be singing. The song I'll be singing is They'll Know We Are Christians by Our Love. And I got the idea to sing that particular song because it was one of my mom's favorites when I was a little girl. And when I was practicing, rehearsing in church today, and I sang it, I swear I could hear my mom's voice in my singing. My voice was stronger and more real and more resonant than I've heard myself sing in a long time. So Kenneth or Chris says she wants me to take your blood pressure when you get headaches. She said drink lots of water. She gave me different tests to do, and she wants to see Chris next week. That's excellent. Excellent. So a side quest for Chris could be to drink water and keep track of it. By the way, look at this is my task list. Addie, you'll love this. Here's my task list for the day. And look at this. I've actually drank some more water. I love these little things you can fill out. So I've been drinking water. I just took my cups away, but I'm thinking I've drank at least 6. So Karen's here. Hi, Karen. Okay, there's another dream. I'd like to go diving with whales and dolphins. We've spent a lot of time in this one, but I love it. I would like to go diving with whales and I like to go diving. I want to go to Catalina. Does anyone want to go to Catalina around my 65th birthday? Catalina's an island off California. Anyone? Anyone? Side quests and adventures. So some of them are dreams. Some of them are, they can be as big or little as you want, because with your journal as your best friend, your journal is with you. Your journal is chatting you up. Your journal is helping you. And you can write all these things there and it's safe. And I shared before some of you got here, this is an art journal project that I worked on last January when I was in Dana Point thinking about going to Catalina. I wrote that I wanted to see more sunrises and sunsets. More sunrises and sunsets. And I totally forgot this. And yet, hello, what am I doing? I'm doing my road to 65, which is to walk during the golden hour. What have we been seeing? Those of you who've been walking with me, we've been seeing sunrises, which is so much fun to watch sunrises on YouTube with all y'all. And next week, we'll be walking during sunset with all y'all. We'll be walking in sunset at a special location, a sacred location in Pennsylvania. To me, it's sacred. Okay, Miss M wants to go to a wolf sanctuary and pet the wolves and interact with them. That sounds, see, look at this. Isn't this freeing and feels so good? Cheryl says this journaling tonight is easier than any other journaling for me. Anybody else finding that to be true, says Cheryl. You're in, Addie's in. Okay, 65th birthday. I want to go big. I want to go big. I'm actually looking into, there's a dolphin adventure thing in Dana Point, a boat, Captain Dave's dolphin adventure. I'm a Dana Hills dolphin, by the way. We are the Dolphins, mighty, mighty Dolphins. Yes, we are. So we tell them. Class of 1980. But I was looking at it, I'm like, well, I could take one of those out, 25 people. I could afford that. Wouldn't that be fun to do that? And then I thought, and I also wanted to go to Catalina. I talked about that last winter. So yeah, why not? Why not take that side quest? Why not? And Vicki says she has no worries. If I really decide I want to do something, I don't let it worry stop me. A watercolor class with another artist. That's a wonderful one. Oh yes, Addie's going to live and work in Scotland for a month next fall. I was going to say Addie's amazing. She has this really great community, Midlife Badassery. You might want to check that out. And check out her channel. If you check out Addie's channel, you'll see all of her wonderful stuff. So yeah, Addie is amazing. It is easier. So what's making it easier? Oh, you want to learn piano? That's the spirit, Renee. Are you writing any of this down? I hope you're writing it down. I wrote down mine. And yes, the time is just zooming. The time is just zooming. And what I would like to ask you is to be sure to write some of this down. The chat will be available in the comments, but write this stuff down. Miss M also wants to play piano. So Miss M, I want y'all to think, what were those 3 words when you came in here? Some of you were stressed out, busy, unfocused. You came in here, you talked with your friends, you thought about the prompt, and you started to write, even if it was just into the chat box. That's a start. This is when your journal becomes your best friend. Okay, there we go. Renee wants to write the novel that is in your head. These are all wonderful adventures and side quests that start with your journal. Vicki says using the loom to knit. And now Miss M is focused. You see how that happens? Now we're getting somewhere. We've been having such a great week with these journaling sessions. One thing I noticed was the first time I did these journaling sessions, I was so uptight I wasn't having much fun. This time is so much different. Thank you, Karen. By the way, Karen, how come you're not a moderator? That's nutty. Okay, there you go. Okay, there we go. Tonight or tomorrow night, we have a live stream every week with Karen. I think it starts at 7. Starts at 7 Eastern time, I believe. So I want to be there with Karen, and then I'll be coming over here unless I change this to 6 p.m. I might change it to 6 p.m. so I can do both, because I love going live with Karen and the gals. So okay, so now we're focused. All right. Now remember what some of you were here for the quote. What did we say? The quote from Mary Oliver was, keep some room in your heart for the unimaginable. Keep some room in your heart for the unimaginable. And we have talked about some of those adventures and side quests that we want to take. We have looked at our journal as our best buddy. And we have started to do that because we loosened up with passionate detachment. We let go. We let go of some of those not so great beliefs that we had. And we allowed ourselves to be fully present to what is. Some of us got embodied, like I had in this earlier exercise. Watch the replay if you missed that. I can't believe we've been here for half an hour. All right, so we're going to move on to curiosity with your journal. So curiosity is one of the best ways to stay young, which is excellent for those of us who are creeping up. Like my 65th birthday, I'm not a young lady anymore. I'm a young lady in my heart. I'm energized, phenomenally energized. But if we can stay curious and we can link that, like what might I do to bring the side quest to life? What tiny step can I take to learn to crochet? Who would I hang out with who could help me with that side quest? Look over your list or review back or jot some notes before we go ahead. What friends do I want to support more? And how might I support them? Who are those friends I might like to meet on that road trip? And how could I facilitate that? What might be a really cool way to do that? Which song do you love, Vicki? The song that I'm singing in choir? They'll know we are Christians by our love. It's a beautiful song. Thank you for saying I look young. So yesterday we listened to the quote from Rainer Rilke. Remember, have patience with all things that are left unresolved in our hearts. Remember, and to live the question now. By the way, like this video if you haven't yet. And to live the questions now, it means we're not looking for an answer. We're simply stepping into the whatever is next. And we're stepping into whatever is next from a space of curiosity by asking the question and then living it. Not asking the question and stressing out about how can I make this happen, but simply moving forward. So for me with this one, this just shocked me when I saw that I was starting this art journal page, which I never finished. It's okay that I was looking for more sunrises and more sunsets. I wrote that down. And as I went off and lived my life, and then I decided, well, you know, I really want to get more fit and I really want to build my wash hours and all those things. Why not do? And I saw Dave. Dave came in the other day. Dave was around. He was here, I think, the first night of journaling. He came by. He was like one of my walking inspiration people. And I saw him walking every day on YouTube, and I saw him build a community through walking every day on YouTube. And I thought, what could I do? What would be different? How could I do this? And instead of getting stressed out totally about it, I just, well, I can try this. I can experiment. I can do a half an hour thing. I can do it at the golden hour because I love the golden hour. And then when I was like, well, how can I do journaling and that? How can I do both? What am I going to do? I didn't get stressed out. I said, well, I'm doing journaling at 7:30. I can do walking in the morning that time. So has it been easy getting up for these last 2 weeks and being outside ready to roll at 6:30 a.m.? No, but it's been fun. And I'm not resisting it. And the first I was resisting that. Those of you who've been walking at 6:30, or those of you who've been watching from bed while I was out walking, and I love it that you did that. But now I'm like, okay, here I go. And this morning I got caught up in some family stuff, but I just got out there and I went, and the phone messed up and I kept going. And I walked longer than all y'all could because I was buffering, and that's okay. I wasn't worried about the results. I was curious and I kept moving forward. Okay, so Vicki wants to eat more protein. That's great. Okay. Ms. M says, the friends I want to meet on my road trip would be Jen from Gen X and Pam and Kathleen from Kathleen's Place. And in Alaska, you want to meet Jennifer. I'm not on your list, Ms. M. I'm joking with you. I would love to meet you. And I'm hoping that Karen, YouTube Over 40, and I can meet up soon with plans, possible plans with Brenda. We'll see about that. Okay. Whew. We have covered a lot. So I'd like you to think about being curious and listen with your heart to what is your heart's desire. What is one of your heart's desires? What is one of your heart's desires? Now, Mary Oliver has another quote that says, and this is a very famous one. I think it's from, is it from One Summer's Day? By the way, I will send. Okay, bye, Chris. Thank you so much. I did meet Renee, which was amazing. But I will send that Mary Oliver video because this Stephen Colbert attempts to read one of her poems. And he said that he tries the first day of school, I think he said he reads this poem to his kids. And he looked in the camera and he's like, I can't do it. I can't read that poem. I cannot read that poem. And it is just so gripping. And in that poem, Mary Oliver asked, tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with this one wild and precious life? I changed that to go with side quests and adventures by saying, tell me. I'm looking right at you. Tell me. What is it you plan to do with this one wild and precious day? What is it you plan to do with this one wild and precious week? What is it you plan to do with this one wild and precious heart's desire? Because sometimes when we get older, we forget about those heart's desires. We think heart's desires are for 20-year-olds, not for 65-year-olds. And I would like you to let go of that belief and step back in right now. I know I stopped talking. Give you space. What is it you plan to do? You can change that. What is it that you are open to do with this one wild and precious week? We're looking at September. What is it you would love to do in this one wild and precious September 2026? So I'm just going to write that down so I can remember it. Time does fly. You're feeling all the feels. That's okay, Pam. Remember, when you journal, whether it is in words, in an art journal, or dictating onto your phone, talking about this with your husband, your partner, your human bestie, talking to God, talking to the journal. What I think is so important is that when we actually take the moment to document, when we come back later and see, like I did tonight, that totally took me by surprise. So, okay, I'm going to write it down. What is it you hope, would love? You could say plan. Envision, that's for you, Addie. What would you envision for your one wild and precious September 2026? Okay. Okay. And remember, Pam and others, we're coming at this from a place of passionate detachment, which means we're not concerned or attached to results. We are coming at it with our hearts wide open, recognizing we may fail, we may fall short. The Wizard of Oz, one of my favorite lines is, "It is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all." It is better to dream than not dream. It is better to take some time with the page, with your heart wide open. Listen to your heart calling. It's been so beautiful to see what y'all have been saying. Okay, I see conversations going on between Sam and Renee. Talking about Indiana. A nightmare before an Airbnb with a theme of nightmare before Christmas. See, somebody dreamed that dream up. Somebody dreamed that dream up. I'm an alto. I'm an alto with a very high range. I have a wide range. Lori Soul Circle. Okay, good to see you, Lori. Lori's heart's desire is to show everyone how powerful they really are, to pull back the curtain on everything they have been conditioned to believe. Amen, you're in the right place. That's kind of what we've been talking about. With your journal as your bestie. TV Girl says, letting go of shame and guilt is really, you are right. Letting go of shame and guilt is super hard. Hello? Still have some of that. Still have some of that. It's an ongoing, day by day practice. Okay. Well, thank you, Renee. Renee is trying to encourage everybody to give some thumbs up. I actually have 12 thumbs up here. 10 watching, 12 thumbs up on my screen. 13. Thank you for that extra one. Vicky said, today my heart desires connection. My community asked me to do a live show at YouTube at 6 p.m. and I miss them. Yeah, Vicky does lots of lives. And it's no wonder they miss you. You're an amazing live streamer, amazing YouTuber. Healing, you're healing. Yes, you are. I know you're injured. And Miss M, like TV girl. Did I get your name right, my friend? Yeah, tvgirl.com. She's a new person here. She's been here to 3 lives so far. She also letting go of trauma, experience, and guilt. Yes. Yes. And the fact that you're showing up here and you're all participating and you're answering these questions and you're writing them down so that you may continue to engage with them. And I'm totally detached from any result of you following through. The fact that we're talking about it here and now is helpful, is conducive to healing. One step, one moment at a time. My phone has not run out of power. Whew. Okay. Okay. Wow. Whew, let's take a breath. Collectively, let's take a breath. Amazing. Let me say, each and all of you are amazing. And I feel so incredibly thrilled and joyful that you are here. Okay. So we're almost to the end of the usual time. So what I will do is I'll give you the final prompt for the day. And then I'll be open for questions about journaling, about writing, about the giveaway that I'm planning, about anything. Miss M says, I'm embarrassed to tell my therapist that I want to heal from that. I can understand that. I hear you and feel you about being embarrassed to talk to your therapist about those things. And it's brave of you to express them here. Miss M, it's a great start. Oh, the giveaway? Yeah, here we go. Giving away this book. I have 2 copies. Good Writing by Neil Allen and Anne Lamott. TV Girl. You feel shame for what I did. That simple daily routine becomes difficult because of shame. Yeah. Yeah. Simple daily routines can be a challenge because of anything. And when I would say sometimes people talk about how easy it is, and it's not always that easy. We could talk about that during the Q&A section, but I want to give you, thank you, TV Girl. I'm so grateful you're here again. If I haven't said it already, I am so grateful that you are here. I'm so grateful for each person being here. I can't imagine, I could not have imagined when I started this live stream how joyful it would be to spend this time with each and all of you. And I will tell you right now, this has been an absolute joy. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Ms. Ivy Online. How are you? Good to meet you. I'm Julie. It's true. So here's your prompt. And if you want to write it down, I hope you will. I hope you'll remember it if you don't have a chance to write it down. But here it is. This is especially for those of us who are not young, although youngsters too. Because when I was, that's so crazy to hear myself say youngsters. But I remember even when I was like in college, even when I was in my end of high school, this would apply. Okay. It's not too late. It's not too late. I'm right on time to try. I'm right on time to try. Now, any of these prompts we talked about in the chat, and I would like for you to take it to the page as well. So I'm not too late. I'm right on time to try, ... We're doing adventures and side quests. Lori asked if I go live every Thursday. Lori, I'm going live right now, Monday through Saturday. I'm doing my walks, my golden hour walks to 65. Right now I'm doing those in the morning because I'm journaling at night. And I'm planning to journal once a quarter. Right now, that's a plan. So journaling is Monday through Friday. I won't be doing journaling for a few weeks, at least. And, but I will be doing my walks. And during my walks, we talk about all kinds of things. It's really been fun for that. Thank you for asking. And okay, Vicky says, in September, we'll explore Maslow's hierarchy of needs and how our needs and emotions connect to the idea of home sweet home. That's amazing. We'll talk about what helps us feel safe, loved, connected, and valued. Is that on your lives, Vicky? I think your lives are at 6 Pacific, right? That's good to know. And Ms. M says, it's not too late to heal because my soul is broken. Wow, that was hard to type out, and you did. It's not too late to heal. It's right on time for me to try healing, perhaps differently. I'm saying that for me too, for healing. I was talking to my sister about therapy, and I actually did EMDR. This is an aside. This is a side quest. I actually did EMDR in therapy when I worked for the county. Some of you have heard that story, when I got 2 death threats when I worked for the county. And I got therapy from my employer back then. And that was in 1999, so in the last millennium. And my sister said to me last week, she said, my therapist does EMDR, she's great. And I said, oh man, I don't know if I can afford that right now. But I'm open to it. So doing it differently. So I'll say it one more time. It's not too late. I'm right on time to try. Well, that's right. Lori's from Massachusetts too. You want to sing with me? We could definitely do that. Are you an alto or soprano? This is part of Q&A. Okay. Again, I would like to say to each person who is here, I am so grateful for your presence. It has been an absolute joy to explore adventures and side quests in our journals. And right here, we've talked about passionate detachment. We've talked about curiosity as a means of staying young. We have talked about your heart's desire. We've talked about living your question. And that's just tonight. We've talked about telling yourself. In that poem that Mary Oliver says, tell me, what is it you plan to do, would love to do in this one September, wild and precious life, afternoon? And many of you are brave enough to step into that and answer those questions. Bye, Miss M. Miss M's taking off. Thank you, Karen. What do we really need to feel at home in our lives? Talking about changing lives in bed. I'm so glad you came by too, Miss M. All right, so it's been an incredible session, an incredible live. I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed each and all of you who've been here. You always get writer's blocks, as Mrs. Ivy? Well, look, you're here in the right place. I'm not sure if you were here for all the prompts that we threw out, so I will review the prompts, okay? So, Miss Ivy, for writer's block, there's a couple things that I've suggested. We use stream of consciousness writing. Stream of consciousness writing is when you don't edit, you don't think, you simply move your pencil or pen across the page. Something else that I've learned just this summer is something similar, but instead of using a pencil or pen, I use my voice and I record it. I dictate my writing. And when I dictate is I'm speaking, it's speak writing, because I had an injury in my hand, and one of those gifts is to find out that I can write with my voice. And then I dictate into my phone, I copy and paste that dictation, I throw it into ChatGPT or something similar. And what I say to ChatGPT is, do not change anything in this. Just make it into paragraph form. And if any of the words are clearly wrong, please fix that. But don't change a thing. And ChatGPT does that. And then I have a workable something to work with. I can take that bare bones dictation, which is journaling, the same way as I would take a written piece on piece of paper. That is a great way to get out of writer's block. Try that. Yes. I'm glad that helps. Okay, so here's the prompts. I'm going to start from the top. I made one up on the fly because I'm like, wait, I don't have the first one. So the first one is what are 3 words you can use to describe your day? That's the first prompt. 3 words. And you can do this, check in with yourself throughout the day. What are 3 words I would use? And if the words feel like a lot of people came in tonight, they're stressed, they're uncomfortable, and all we did was talk and journal. So, okay. 3 words. We consider that our journal is our best friend. What have you decided? No, that was not the first one. Oh my goodness. It's not too late. I'm right in time to try. So 3 words. Let's see. Keeps your word hurt. I can't believe I didn't write it down. Did I write it down anywhere, ladies? Can any of you remember? I'll have to go back and find it. I will go back and find it. But yeah, hang out. Come back tomorrow. I think, okay. An adventure, this is one we did. I made this one up on the fly, and it kind of blew open the conversation, which is an adventure or side quest I would like to try if I didn't worry about the results. An adventure or side quest I would like to try if I didn't worry about the results. And so that just means things you weren't on your list perhaps for to-dos, but things came up like writing a poetry book, taking a road trip, kayaking, baking cookies, supporting friends, learning to crochet, publishing a book, going to Alaska, singing a solo in church, feeling better, healing, trying a different modality of healing. All of these things are side quests. So that was a really powerful prompt. I wrote something I can't even read. Adventure. Yes. Cheryl, hi. Okay, so TV Girl, if you have questions, this is the time to ask questions. We have like 8 more minutes to get to my max. TV Girl says, I spend a lot of time imagining how people see me, and lately even basic things like showering and brushing my teeth feel difficult, overthinking. It's so hard to let go. Okay, so here's a confession. I took a shower this morning that I first tried to take 2 days ago, and I just didn't get around to it. I know that sounds crazy, but I would be like, does my hair look okay? Do I smell okay? And today I finally said, Julie, you are taking a shower. And I just took myself up to take a shower. Some of these things will feel impossible. And the shower didn't take very long, and I felt much better. That's one thing that I might suggest you try, TV Girl, is to think about how good it will feel when you're done. The other thing is this little timer. This is really good for those of us who have problems with focus, or I showed you my list that has a bunch of ridiculous things on it that I tend to not get to. Things like reaching out to my brother. I'm reaching out for a handyman on Angie's list. Moving the couch in the living room. Opening up the vacuum box. Just opening the box. So taking a shower could be getting your towel or getting the clothes you're going to change into and putting them in place. And then doing this. Okay, I'm going to get my towel and my washcloth ready. And I will do it before the sand goes to the bottom of this timer. That might sound silly. It works. And then use your journal. Use your journal. Your journal is your bestie. Your journal will never shame you. Your journal will never make you feel less than. Your journal is a safe space. And then you can share your journal with someone who you do trust, a human. So that's a start. That's one thought. I don't want to deluge you with other thoughts, but this might help other people too. Okay, Renee says, I'm so glad my schedule allowed me to be here. You have to run. Thank you. It was incredible. I agree. Thank you, Renee. Vicki says, lives in bed when I've been taking narcotics. Yeah, I would say that's a safe place to do your lives when you're taking narcotics, definitely. All right. So actually, I got quite a few things done. Later, I'm still going to read my book. I said, read my book club book. I have a mop that is like a wet mop, and I put on here, fill the mop with the special cleaning fluid. I didn't say scrub and mop my dining room with every little bit of efficiency. Nope. I did the first thing. Put the fluid in the mop. And sometimes that helps when it's hard to get things done. Also, I wrote this note to myself this morning. It says, "Dear Julie, I'm proud of you for taking steps. You haven't waffled, nor have you been afraid." Because sometimes I get afraid of some very simple things. So I wrote myself a thank you note this morning. I took notes on videos that I watched. Okay, so I think that I've decided that we're going to go live here tomorrow at 6. I'm going to change the time so that I can hang out with Karen and friends at 7. I love doing those 7 o'clock Friday night lives. And one of the things I've been trying to do this week is to be more resilient. So I'm grateful that you helped me to. I'm grateful that y'all were here to witness that and witness me. Karen says, I get afraid of simple things sometimes. I know. I usually, if I'm resisting something or if I'm not getting something done, oh yeah, that's a good one. What would I tell my younger self? What's the context for that prompt, Cheryl? And definitely, I would see about these adventures and things, and the adventures and side quests. When we get to be, well, any age, sometimes we put them off, and yeah, what would I tell my younger self? That's a good prompt for anything, actually. One of the things I would tell my younger self is to not waste my time being afraid. And some people say things like, Julie, you're the bravest person I know. Actually, I've said some, I'm like, are you kidding me? I think that I'm brave in things that a lot of people are afraid of, like public speaking, making videos, being on stage. But for me, those things aren't the scary things. So. You love speech recording, Vicki? Don't wait 40 years to seek out a trusted counselor. That's amazing. So maybe I should call my sister's therapist about EMDR, because EMDR is a really helpful kind of therapy. It helped me in 1999. After I did EMDR therapy, that's when I quit my job and I branched out and did what I've been doing ever since. It hasn't been easy, but I look back and I think how my life would have been different if I'd stayed at that job. So, wow, you all are amazing. We're at 57:46. I think this is the longest live I've ever done. It's definitely been the highest energy. I'd like to thank you all for being here, whether you've been here for 1 minute or the whole time. Thank you so much for journaling with us. Tomorrow we're going to journal at 6, and we're going to be journaling about what's next. So how to take some of what we've brought up this week and create from that place. There's so many cool things coming up. I'm really excited to have you as a part of my world here on YouTube, and quite a few of you, YouTube and beyond. Yes, Ivy Online, I'm so glad that you came. Lori, thank you so much for saying that. You're so kind. Thank you so much. I really appreciate each and all of you. For new people, I'm so glad you came into this session tonight. Me too. I'm looking forward to tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. Earlier than usual. All right, we'll see you next time. Take good care.